Indeed.
I mean, I thought it was going to be like Sadiq Khan versus what's the other one? The
Sacha Javid, the Bond villain looking one.
Yeah, that him. Like pick your packy prime minister.
Looking one.
Yeah, that him. Like pick your packy prime minister.
That was an early episode title. You can tell I was an avid listener.
Yeah,
I didn't just come
12.
on the show for shekels because there aren't any. I was an avid listener even before they sort of drafted me in to replace Ash. Practice is obviously so you got some 21-year-old African man murders a white woman, and his defense team would then have recourse to testing to be able to say, oh, he's got a mental age of 13. And yeah, if he's anything like the average African, yeah, he'll always have a mental age of 13, as Euro says, by European standards. And that's just one reason why we don't want any of these people here and why they fuck civilization up wherever they arrive once there are enough of them, and that's it.
Yeah. What about the people that's in a mixed relationship? Because the person I interviewed yesterday, obviously he's a British person, but obviously was with a black person and has now mixed race children. So she's now taken offence to those 14 words.
Well, here's the thing. I've spoken about this before. Mixed race people don't have any natural homeland in the world. And any parent who's had children with someone of another race and thereby created that sort of new form of life, they know that. They're actually being extremely selfish because any parent who's had children with someone of another race and thereby created that sort of new form of life, they know that. They're actually being extremely selfish because they've brought life into the world which they know exists nowhere. And the problem is, like, let's say there's a country that one of the parents comes from, and the children of this relationship, they don't belong there, they don't belong here, they won't fit in wherever they go. But it is extremely arrogant because what these people in mixed race relationships with children do is they say, well, why doesn't this country become more welcoming to these people who don't belong here? But it's actually, you have to destroy the society where the natives feel welcome in order to make these newcomers feel welcome. So it's like you're having to destroy one society for the idea of multiculturalism, which never works in the first place.
Yeah, you're going to get these coal burners that have essentially betrayed their race. Yeah, you're going to get these coal burners that have essentially betrayed their race. Yeah, you're going to get these coal burners that have essentially betrayed their race. At this point, it's going to be mainly the women, but soon after, there are going to be all these white men that have taken Oriental Asian wives, and they're going to say, my children are British, and then eventually they'll start shilling for China or other Oriental nations and saying we should be making concessions to them.
Their mothers or dads.
The problem that I see with it is most people who are mixed race, they end up identifying with like the prestige culture of whichever of their parents is more respected. And in this sick society that we have now, where you have like black and white mixed, because that tends to be the most common. Like these children always identify with their black side because you're always defined by your otherness, which is to say, in a country that's majority white, where you're half white and half anything else, you're always going to be defined by that thing which is elsewise. As soon as you say, okay, well, this person's mixed race and that's fine, that one individual is fine. It's like a ratchet system. It's like you give it a couple more generations, there's more mixed race people. Oh, we've got to let them stay as well. A few more generations. Oh, we've got to let them stay as well. Eventually, we don't have a country left for ourselves.
Yeah, I think the pragmatic thing to do is do the same as Israel and outlaw mixed marriage.
Stay as well. Eventually, we don't have a country left for ourselves.
Yeah, I think the pragmatic thing to do is do the same as Israel and outlaw mixed marriage. As long as the whites are intermarrying and having enough children, we'll secure our existence on our homeland. Whereas all the other groups would be allowed to intermarry between themselves, they'll gradually lose their identity and won't have enough children anyway. Because that's how life works. When you don't have an identity, your birth rate will just naturally drop off.
And somebody's saying in the chat here, there's mixed race societies in the Caribbean and Africa. They have these places. Like in terms of the global population, what are whites, like 7% now? It used to be much higher. But like there's so much space in Africa, and these mixed race people would sort of like blend in more in Africa than they would over here. You know?
Well, they could take it over if they wanted.
Well, yeah, they could be running the place.
Just go to this comment here. I've got a half black brother, so what do I do? Because he will say he's British as Devon Cream, and I'm a PA patriot.
Well, look at Devon Cream and see the colour of it. You know, he can't be as British as Devon Cream. It's just nonsense. I mean, like when you say it's a half black brother, I'm guessing you're not black, so he's half black, half brother. You know, like from another parent. But like as I said before, it's selfish. The parents who do that, because they're making a decision to have kids who they know don't fit in anywhere. And the only way that person can possibly feel like they truly fit in somewhere is if a whole society is restructured to make it so like, you know, all this racial background doesn't matter. And when that happens, you destroy the capability of the native people to feel like they belong. So, like, you know, if it comes down to us belonging or them belonging, of course it's going to be us.
So talk about patriotic alternative. New website has been launched, guys. Obviously, you must have seen it. What's your thoughts?
I mean, there's no games or anything. It's a pretty standard website.
Oh, come on, you. Are you going to do better then? You take it over.
No, I mean, it looks very nice, certainly. And it's got a link to sign up, and that's what's the most important. But, you know.
I've contributed an article already, and I think I'll be doing another one this week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some edgy articles being posted on a political platform that can upset all the right people and get the word out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you writing for PA? Are you then? Yeah.
Yeah, I did one on coronavirus. And I'm going to do another one on Zionism this week. So
no, I understand this position because like my niece and nephew are actually mixed race. Well,
let's get it back.
So I know. Well, yeah. So I understand their plight, and it is conflicting because, you know, like I don't want any harm to come to them, and it just feels like, yeah, I understand it. Like, it's not a good thing to like endorse. Like, it is genocide. You literally just, if you follow it to its natural conclusion, like where you just say, well, screw it, anyone can just, we'll just let things, go as they are with what we're facing now with this 24/7 propaganda of,
Actually, no, I've known a couple of girls back in Birmingham that actually would say, I would never go out with a white guy. As a white girl, I would never go. They see it as a trophy. I would love a mixed race child as if it was a trophy.
Oh, God.
Oh.
This is the kind of people that are on our planet, unfortunately.
Well, guess what? You're going to be fucking raising them on your own, because that's always the way it goes.
Well, it depends which one it is. I mean,
I think they actually are raising them on their own now.
Imagine that, Chris, eh? Yeah.
The thing is, like, it was like my personal story with my niece and nephew. They kind of ended up being the meme,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's like, I was kind of like, well, that's kind of a red pill, right? I was like, oh,